Welcome back to Jacobit's Learning. We're going to do a real quick SAT. This is on the conventions of standard American English. So this came from an actual SAT reading, and I believe the reading came back in, I believe it was the 2022 SAT, but it is an actual reading that actually came there. So in 2016, engineer Vanessa Galvez oversaw the installation of 164 bioswales, or vegetated channels designed to absorb and divert stormwater, along the streets of Queens, New York, by reducing the runoff flowing into city sewers. Which choice completes the text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard? And this is when we put here at Jacobit's Learning Center. They won't have this on the test, but it's American English because a lot of you watching us take this from another country. But it's American English, not Oxford English, not British English, American. So anyway, you want to look for something that's here. If you get confused with what all this means, this right here was put in for you. And if even not, you knew bio means life, something to do, and you saw the word channels, and you saw the word stormwater, and you saw runoff. So if you could put all those words together, whether you knew what they were talking about or not, you could pretty much understand this. Mitigate means to change through some type of confrontation, but here's what they're looking for. When they say conventions, they're looking for how something sounds so that it's not confusing. So let's go over choice A, the mitigation of both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved by bioswales. It's not bad, but it's really a lot to say at one time. And you have this word here, both, okay, which you have in all sentences. So if you could kind of take this out, it's kind of where you place it, because it is somewhat redundant. But when you read it, the change of street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved by bioswales. So you have a verb here, resulting pollution. This kind of turns into an adjective, and this is a noun. So you don't have something called parallel structure. And I'm putting those two lines here because when you're reading this, you kind of need parallel structure. If you have a sentence that has a noun here, and I'm going to put in here, and you have you have a verb acting as an adjective here, and put adj for adjective. Okay, it's kind of like a verb. It's not really resulting. It's not really a gerund, but this and that and other. You need to make sure that the sentences coordinate and that both sides of the sentence have either a noun on one side, like this could have been the result of pollution. See what I'm saying? That's parallel structure. And you don't have that in this. But I'm still not going to cross it out, just in case, because this is really complex. Okay, the next one you have is the bioswales have mitigated street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways. So you have this word again, resulting, but you have a verb that's acting as an adjective. But here's the thing. When you put have mitigated, you're talking about both. The bioswales, they have, and both was here, street flooding and the pollution of nearby waterways. You can keep resulting here. So I'm going to keep this open. You have here for C, the bioswales mitigation of both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved. And it looks great because you have an apostrophe trying to show something, but it's complex. And when you go back and say by reducing the runoff flowing into the city sewers, the bioswales mitigation of street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved. It's cumbersome. It's too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross it off. It doesn't sound right. Somebody may say this way at a party. Somebody may even get up and say it at a speech, but it's not correct, and it's really not necessarily parallel structure. Both street flooding, resulting pollution. This is street flooding. Here you have a gerund. Okay, so you have flooding here. And you do not have here. This should be resulting polluting. See, this is a noun. Also, that's the other thing. So it's not parallel structure. Let's go over D. Excuse me. When we go over D, both street flooding and the resulting pollution, again, you have flooding, kind of a gerund, resulting pollution of nearby waterways have been mitigated by bioswales. Have your teachers told you, and I do this a lot, have been mitigated? I'm an English major, and that's one of my majors, and I do that. Have been mitigated. It's like, nearby waterways have. You kind of want your verb on the SAT up in the front. And this is like your helping verb. They also call it the auxiliary verb. And you have two of them here. And then this is your action verb. I'm going to put AV. They kind of want these up front. So this is what knocks out D because of its structure. When you think about it, the only one that really comes close, since none of them have parallel structure, really, the resulting pollution of, would be B. And only because it's easier to read. If you put B up here back into this sentence, it would be easier to understand and easier to read it. So the bioswales have mitigated, there's that verb again, both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways. Boom, done. Do you have to understand what Dr. Galvez did or what's going on? No, you don't. All you have to know is that something happened, there was stormwater, there was runoff, and this is taking care of it. And this says the bioswales have changed, the street flooding and resulting pollution of nearby waterways kind of mitigated here. So easy, just think about what's going on, it's B. And this is like a medium hard because you don't have parallel structure in any of these. So you have to look at what's really going on here. And all of them, they're kind of acting like an adjective or a verb. Noun here, gerund acting as a noun, street flooding, the mitigation of both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved by bioswales. That is cumbersome. So we're going to cross out A. A is cumbersome. Otherwise, you kind of have the same thing going on. And B just makes it short, simple, and sweet. So B is the answer. Quickly, done. Let's go. Thanks for watching.